Test. I believe we're good. Okay. Prodigy, what's going on, man? Christian, yeah. Chris Sale winning the Cy Young. Bittersweet. What up, Joe? What up, Jack? Alpha, how are you? John, how you doing? Michaela, what's going on? Shane. Hello. Is this thing on? Yeah, it is. We're good. I'm just messing with you guys. What up, Warrior? I'm just messing with you guys. Let me get that chair out of you, huh? We don't need that. What's up, Evan? Christian, bonjour. Can we talk about the pitching? That's the idea. What's up, Braden? Spencer, how you doing? My mom's listening to the stream with me while we clean the kitchen. Hello, Spencer's mom. How are you? Been watching for 2 years, Shane. I really appreciate you. Let me I mustache you a question. Yeah, it's now you see me. Prodigy, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, my friend? W. Spencer's mom. I agree. The stash looks bigger. Robbie, how are you? Love the show. Thanks so much for watching. The stash came in a little bit better than last year. I'll give it that. Last year around this time, it looked terrible. Last year around this time, it looked god-awful. This time around, it doesn't look good. Right, I'm not sitting here being like, man, maybe I should keep the stash for the rest of my life, but it's looking a little bit better. Long-time listener, first-time chatter. Well, I appreciate you being here tonight, Alpha. Hopefully we can give you some good content for you, huh? Only behind Paul Skeens. I'll take it. Gonna do the Cam Boozer mustache? No. You know what I got to do? I got to trim it up. I was talking to my girlfriend before stream. There's not enough for me to be like, oh, this needs to be manicured. You know what I mean? But I think at some point we need to do some manscaping to it. A couple of housekeeping things before we get into the conversations we're going to have tonight, which are going to be about Shane Bieber. They're going to be about Jordan Montgomery. And, of course, we're going to go over the latest on Juan Soto because, what up, Beast? Of course, we're going to talk about Juan Soto because, well, right? Come on. But before we get into that, just a heads up, we are going to be probably doing our live stream next week on Tuesday. Just remember that Tuesday because if people start traveling for Thanksgiving the day before, you know what I mean? So I figured it'd be easier for Tuesday. And then the other housekeeping thing I need to get out of the way is members. We're going to be doing our members-only live stream tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do there yet. I was thinking we just do another sort of conversation where we get deeper into a few topics. But if you guys have any other ideas, I have a post on the members-only channel if you want to take a look at that. But those are the two. Hey, Roscoe, thanks so much for watching, man. I appreciate you. But outside of that, yeah, we're talking baseball tonight, folks. We are talking baseball tonight. Red Sea Radio on in the car. That is awesome, Beast. Well, hey, it's like listening to a live podcast, right? Let's talk first about, I think Shane Bieber is probably Cy Young finishers. I think it ended up. What's up, Michael? What's up, Ben? I think it ended up being pretty stationary. Like, I don't think there were any surprises, right? I think Chris Sale winning is bittersweet for sure. We've talked about that trade so many times. $250 till we hit our Movember goal, folks. We've talked about that trade so many times that it's not really worth diving into again. But I'm just, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, I'm kind of just happy he's succeeding, right? He was hurt for so long for the Red Sox that the contract didn't look good, but man, he did so many great things with his team. I'm just happy he's doing well. It sucks, but okay. So we are getting into, we're gonna start with Shane Bieber because I think Shane Bieber is probably the more interesting conversation. Yeah, same. It felt like that was sort of the last nail in the coffin for Chris Sale. I mean, I don't know if he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. If he had stayed healthy, he definitely would have been. But I definitely think he is I definitely think he's close. I think that Cy Young probably put him over the top, in my opinion. I would say Chris Sale's a Hall of Famer, but that definitely helped. All right. Okay, so the reason we're bringing up Shane Bieber tonight, I think we'll probably do a video about some of the pitchers that the Red Sox have been connected to, because, I mean, you go down the list, right? We talked about the odds favorites for Corbin Burns. We know they've talked to Max Fried. We know they've talked to Blake Snell. Now we add Shane Bieber to this list. And so the report is, and this is by Robert Murray, who essentially does like these live streams once a week, talk about the latest. And what he said was Bieber's going to end up having a pretty strong market. I could see the Red Sox being in play there as well. I think they've had some conversations with Bieber's representatives, so we'll see there. But Bieber does have a good market so far. So, I mean, right off the bat, it doesn't sound like the Red Sox are. It doesn't sound like the Red Sox are like totally in on the Shane Bieber market, right? That doesn't. What's up, Mr. Bob Dylan? It doesn't sound like they've dove into the possibility of Shane Bieber. Now, when you look at the possibility of Shane Bieber, it's really interesting to me, because if we're talking purely statistics, he's right there with the top guys on the market. I mean, a 3.22 ERA with a 3.09 FIP, a 1.115 WHIP. 10.2 strikeouts per nine. Obviously, the strikeouts have been sort of a main focus over the last couple of seasons for him, because in his last two healthy-ish, 23 and 22, they've really decreased from his career numbers. The walks are pretty good. He doesn't give up a ton of home runs. He gives up a pretty decent amount of hits, but he keeps them off base. I think the big thing that people focus on with Bieber is the velocity decrease, right? Going into 2023 specifically, he still managed to be a really decent pitcher, but it wasn't what we expected from a Shane Bieber, right? A 3.80 ERA in 21 starts, 3.87 FIP, a 1.12 ERA plus. I mean, it's above average, but it's not. Gabriel, thank you so much, man. Watching from Brazil, that's really impressive, man. Thank you so much. It's not bad numbers, right? But it's not the sort of dominant, like if you go through like 2019 to 2022 for Shane Bieber is crazy, right? Is crazy. A 2.91 ERA through 4 seasons with a 2.95 FIP, a 1.48 ERA plus. He was striking out 10 batters per 9 innings. I mean, the dude was just nasty. Now, here's the question. So Versatility's in here saying Bieber was a good pitcher. Now he's a slightly better Big Maple. And I think that's the conversation we need to have, right? The interesting things to me is the season in 23 he had, the reason he was throwing slower than he had in the past couple of years was because of the issues with his arm, right? I can't remember what he ended up fully going down with in 2023, but he ended up on the IL with an arm issue. Then obviously 2024, he comes back and he looks like he's fixed that velocity issue, and he looked really good in 2 starts, right? It was 2 starts, it was 2 wins, it was 6 innings a start. He was striking out an unbelievable amount of batters. He allowed a pretty decent amount of hits, but he was walking basically nobody. No one was getting on base, and then he gets injured, right? And all of a sudden it's Tommy John. So the question becomes, with Shane Bieber, I think the overarching question here is whether or not teams believe that he was on the right track to making that redemption arc, right? So we talk about it again, 2019 to 2022, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's a Cy Young winner. He's a top 5 MVP finisher. He's a 3-time top 10 Cy Young finisher. He's a 2-time All-Star. Like, this is a dude. No, but this is my point, versatility, right? I know you're trying to make a joke, but the velocity looked better. It looked like he was getting somewhere with that. And again, it's 2 starts. I understand that, but is that something to take into consideration? And you look at 2023, and I want to go back to what I really wanted to look at in terms of 2023 is how did he end it, right? I know he struggled. He definitely struggled at the beginning. So his last start was September 27th. He was out from essentially July to September. And before July, he had a 3.77 ERA. I mean, that's still pretty solid. His last 3 games was a 4.67 ERA, but a 2.45 FIP. So there was a lot of unluckiness there. He's throwing a lot of strikes. I think a lot of people harp on the velocity, and I don't know. I don't know where I land on this. I think ultimately it comes down to ultimately it comes down to whether or not they think the velocity comes back. And I also think it comes down to what's the market, right? Is a team willing to take a chance and pay him like a Nick Pivetta deal, right? Would you get, okay, so Nick Pivetta is projected to get, let's say 3 years, $56 million. Would you give Shane Bieber 2 years, I just screwed myself on the math, didn't I? $40 million. Let's say $40 million. Would you give Shane Bieber 2 years, $40 million? I don't think I do, right? You guys are all over. You guys are saying yes. I don't know personally. I mean, yeah, the upside is there for that to be a hell of a deal. Okay, let me. So JB brings up a good point too. Okay, so let me rephrase that. What if the Red Sox? I thought I saw Q in here. Let's say the Red Sox trade for Crochet, right? And then they sign Bieber to a 2-year deal with a team option for a 3rd year. Do you consider that even better? Do you consider that more of a complete moves for the offseason? Or let's say they sign Fried. Let's say they sign Fried and then they sign Bieber on the back end. Is that something where you'd be interested in? Long time since I've been to the channel. I appreciate that, Church. Thanks for stopping by again. Anything would be better than what we have currently? Not really. Not really. I mean, the Red Sox had a top 10 rotation, but I mean, statistically, it was a top 10 rotation in baseball last year. I know people don't want to admit that, but it was. So to say anything's better than what we have now, no. Right? I just don't think that's true. I think, like we've been saying this whole offseason, right? It's not so much that the Red Sox are going to just try and change everything about this rotation. No, they need to just make the front line better. You make the front line better, you put yourself in a much different position. So I think that's the goal, right? Now, that's sort of where my head's at with this. Is Shane Bieber going to make the front line of this rotation better? The big thing that we talked about at the beginning of the offseason was I'm kind of sick and tired of the Red Sox taking maybes. Right? Some of them end up as good deals. Waka ended up being a good deal. Adam Duvall ended up being a good deal. Justin Turner ended up being a good deal, right? Chris Martin ended up, but these were guys who came in and they were never supposed to be stars, right? They were never supposed to be really good players. They were supposed to be, okay, this might work out this way, but hey, the track record, you throw Tyler O'Neill in there too. I know it's not a signing, it's a trade, but these were supposed to be guys that, they weren't really going to be great players. There was a chance that they were going to. James Paxton's the other way. Corey Kluber's the other way. What I think the Red Sox need at this point is instead of these, okay, if everything goes right, these guys are going to be impactful, but hey, we'll get them for cheap. So even if things don't go perfectly right, we still made, it still works out in the back end. Instead, I'd love to see them do this sort of strategy where it's, why don't we go after sure things? And obviously there's no such thing as a sure thing in baseball, right? There's no such thing as a sure thing in baseball, especially in a 162 game season. These guys are going to get hurt, but let's go after a guy who you can pencil in. So what are the odds Shane Bieber throws 180 innings next year? None, right? I mean, he's coming back in April. So he probably will need a rehab stint. He probably won't come back most likely till the beginning of May. Okay, and then he's going to be on an innings limit. Okay, so, that's my problem with this whole thing. If you go out and you get and I know people don't love Snell either, but you go out and you get a Snell or a Fried, right? Those guys at the bare minimum, is going to come in and they're going to do something immediately, and that's where I think my sort of point lands here with Shane Bieber, where you just I just simply don't know if going after more of these sort of high caliber, low ceiling type, high caliber, low floor type players, right? I don't know. It's an interesting conversation because you can look back at these sort of players, right? And he's still only 30 years old. It's not like I know versatility compared him to James Paxton, but Paxton was also 34, 35, whatever it was. Bieber's going to be 30, right? This is a guy that if you were going to take a chance on somebody, you take the chance on. I get worried that they're taking the chance and not having anything to back it up. That's my point. Chris, thank you so much for subscribing, my friends. Breslow needs to have a signature signing. Yeah. Snell gets hurt more often than Sale. Not really statistically. Sam Kennedy said in his interview, just posted, that the focus of this offseason isn't money. It's winning 90, 95 games. If they need to go over the luxury tax to do that, they will. I'll probably read it, sir. I'll definitely read it, actually. I just Sam Kennedy, when he says things, he seems like a great person. I don't know. I just sit here and it just feels empty. You know what I mean? Pivetta had a 4 ERA and Bieber had a 3.80 ERA, 3.8. So not quite versatility. Sam Kennedy saying things now makes me think the exact opposite. And that's just sort of how it's been the last couple of years. So, once they back it up, I'm all in for him going out there and bragging about how much they're committed to winning. But until that happens, to me, they're just empty words. And maybe that's just my opinion. Who are the free agents for 2026? Honestly, I have not. I simply have not looked yet. Vladdy. Over 2 games the year before, he was a 450. I don't know where you're looking. Where? Yeah, you said that in the comments, Eric. I have no idea who that is. I'm going to look that up. Snidely Whiplash. Who is this? Hold on. Let me pull this up. Bringing Mike Trout? No. There's no market for Crawford? That's not true. Yeah, your brain transposed. I didn't say scam now. If we end up with a rotation of Fried, Snell, Hout, Crochet, Bayo, Giolito, I think it's realistic and make the Red Sox a contender for the division. I mean, yeah. I just I don't know. I don't know if I see all that happening. Yeah, I actually think Crawford if we're being honest, if Crawford was on another team, he'd be someone we'd want the Red Sox to target. I think that's absolutely true. Should the Red Sox consider going for a guy like Josh Naylor? Nah, I don't think so. Josh Naylor doesn't really make a ton of sense with where the Red Sox are at right now. Do I think Mata and Campbell could be put in a package with Massa or Williard? No. No, I don't think so. Look, guys, my big thing, I think I'm out now with this sort of overarching feeling of the Red Sox front office is pessimistic optimism. And that sounds really dumb, right? Pessimistic optimism. What are you talking about, Corbin? Those are the two opposite things. The point is, last year, we've talked about this, and people just aren't going to, and it's understandable, right? Red Sox fans just simply aren't going to give the Red Sox credit until things actually start happening, and that's what you should do. But I'm saying in terms of your expectations, don't tamper your expectations. One, because this is the Boston Red Sox. You should have high expectations about what this team should look like. You absolutely should. Two, every single media outlet, every single one, whether it's national, whether it's local, even guys like EEI, who are notoriously, one, misinformed, but two, negative, right? No, but here's the difference, E. Right? And this is what I'm talking about. Last year, the Red Sox said, "Oh, we're going full throttle. We're going for everybody, whatever. We're going for high WAR players," right? Then they come out of the GM meetings, and everyone's like, "No, they're not," right? Agents start saying they're saying different things behind closed doors. The national players aren't, or the national media was saying, "No, we aren't hearing the exact same thing," right? This year, they say, "Look, we're just going to show you, and we're committed to winning." And everyone's like, "Oh, well, here we go, full throttle 2.0." But they haven't really said, "Boy, are we going for it." You know what I mean? Boy, are we going for it. But you know what has been said by, again, agents, media, players, local media, the front office, which I know, is they're all saying, "Hey, look, the things that the Red Sox are saying right now is the exact same message they're getting behind closed doors." And I think that's a big, big thing to pay attention to, because it would be a very good, there's no reason for agents, there's no reason for national media to sit here and protect the Boston Red Sox. They have no reason to. In fact, if the Red Sox were being the opposite of what they're saying behind closed doors, it would get them a whole lot more clicks, because us Red Sox fans would be heated because they've done it 2 years in a row. So I do think there's something to that. Now, again, I'm not saying to give them credit. I'm just saying it's okay. It's okay to be cautiously optimistic. It is. I think it's okay to let yourself get cautiously optimistic. I do. I think we're at the point now where it's okay to say, "Man, I'm wondering if something big's going to happen." Right? You just can't. We gotta allow ourselves to be a little bit excited. If we sit here every year and go, "I don't know, man, everyone's saying something different, they're not going to do jack." I mean, I don't know. What up, Mark? Do I have any Rule 5 guys you expect to lose? I would say Blaze stays here. Michael Fulmer, I think might get picked up. I mean, he's got major league experience. B9, thank you for subscribing. He's got major league experience. He was a Rookie of the Year candidate, I think. But that's kind of what they're doing, right? They're not giving you any grandiose ideas. They're not saying we're going full throttle. They're not saying we're going for high WAR players. They're just saying, "Look, we're looking to build this team up to a contender again." That's it, right? And everyone's like, "Whoa, wait a second." You know what I mean? I don't know. Back to your question, Daniel. I would say Yordani would be my guess as someone who gets snagged by maybe a team that's not doing super well. Castro, no. I don't think they lose Castro. Maybe a guy like Christopher Troy, too. He's got high strikeout numbers. Might be a name to pay attention to. But I would really be paying attention to Yordani and Michael Fulmer. But, hey, I was wrong about who they protect, too. So, what up, Lupo? Pacific time? Boy, that is going to be a late night for me. Mark, I don't know, but I'm not going to question it. Do I see Bear getting traded? I don't know who Bear is. What's up, Noah? That's not what Kennedy just said in his recent interview. But again, Kennedy's not going out there and saying we're going for only big players. He's simply saying, look, we want to build a contender. We want to get to 90, 95 wins, which is 9 more wins than he had last year. Right? If we have to go past luxury tax to do it, we'll do it. You know, there were promises made last year. There aren't any promises made this year, and I think that's the big difference. If you really break down all the comparisons, when do you think the first major move's going to be? Like big move, like oh my God, he's going where move? I think it'll be winter meetings. And when you plan to actually try again. But here's the problem. I don't think anyone's going to believe you once you say you're going to try again, right? What do I think of the Bieber rumor? We were just talking about it, Mark. It doesn't sound like it's anything major. It doesn't sound like it's anything crazy. It doesn't sound like they're throwing a check down for him or anything. It kind of just sounds like they're testing the water, and I think that's fine. I just, to me, I want consistency. I want the Red Sox to bring in somebody that you could kind of pencil in, right? I'll give you that. I'll give you Alex Cora definitely said some stuff, but again, you know, and I understand. I understand. I understand the frustration. I understand the frustration. I can also understand Alex Cora saying something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that we should give this front office any credit or specifically this owner any credit because he simply doesn't deserve it right now. My point is it's okay to be cautiously optimistic, right? It doesn't have to be doom and gloom constantly, despite what everyone's saying. It's okay to sit there and be like, man, you know, I'm getting my expectations up. And I'll tell you what, my expectations are high. Maybe it's not the super team that we broke down in the video the other day, which no offense to Dean. There's no way a source told him that, right? There's no way the Red Sox are sitting there being like, we're going to spend $1.4 billion. I just don't see it. But, you know, my expectations are they are going to do their best to be competitive in 2025. That's it. Alex Cora has historically gone against this front office. I don't know where that accusation came in. I genuinely don't. I have no idea. See, now you're just making stuff up to make yourself angry, and I just don't think that's a thing. Right? What is the absolute best scenario? Money is no object and logic not required. I mean, the best case scenario, the absolute best case scenario is you sign Juan Soto, you sign probably Max Fried, you trade for Garrett Crochet, you trade for Vladdy, you give him $400 million. Costas, I love you, dude. I will pack your bags for you if you give Vladdy here for 10 years, right? But again, those expectations are way, way, way too high. They're just simply too high, right? But my point is, every Red Sox fan, it feels like is about here, right? And I understand why they're here. I'm not telling you need to be here. My point is, if you are feeling here and you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I'm starting to feel a little bit positive, that's okay. It's okay, right? It's okay. But he came out and regurgitated exactly what Kennedy said. When? Right? When? In fact, Alex Cora said that before Kennedy. If you're talking about this is going to be the last year of mediocrity, we're going to be exciting next year. That was said before the postseason or before the offseason presser that they did at the beginning. So no, your facts are just wrong. I'm sorry, dude, but you're getting angry over something that isn't true. I remember when Justin Verlander was on the Heap and the Red Sox could have had him for nothing, like every team. Didn't even look at him. That's what our team does, nothing ever. Didn't he sign for like $45 million when he was a free agent? What? Is that high of expectations? No, but this is what I'm talking about, right? My expectation for this offseason, I'll tell you right now, this is my expectation. Yeah, please, E. I'm gonna need sources, dude. Like I'm gonna need an exact quote from Sam Kennedy that says, this is the last year we're gonna have a boring team. So Mark is asking, is trading for Crochet, signing Adames, and building the pen, is that too high of expectations? No, right? Here's my expectation. I'll be flat out honest with you guys. My expectations the Red Sox make one big move for their rotation. I don't know what that is. Is it a trade for Crochet? Is it a signing of Fried? Is it a signing of Snell? I don't know. My other expectation is they get a legitimate bat. Who that ends up being, I can't tell you because I have no idea. My sort of expectation would be Teoscar, but I don't know. And then I think they go and they build out the bullpen. And I think that's if you're looking to get to 90, 95 wins, how do you not do that, right? You probably have 90 wins last year if your bullpen was just solid. Yeah, I saw that versatility. You know what else I saw? Jim Bowden put the Red Sox as his favorites to sign Sasaki. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting. So another report that keeps coming out is that Roki doesn't want the Dodgers. Like he's like, no, I want to make my own name in Major League Baseball. He's more focused on pitching development. You know what? If that's his main focus, I got to tell you, I don't know how the Red Sox aren't towards the top, right? I don't know. He put out like a top 20-ish prospects and had the Red Sox with Sasaki, or 20-ish free agents, sorry, and he had Sasaki with the Red Sox. If he comes over here strictly looking at pitching development, I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to beat a pitch from Craig Breslow, Andrew Bailey, Justin Willard, and oh my God, the guy who runs Driveline, I can't remember his name, Bodie. And the result, I mean, they have results. I don't know. It's interesting. Kyle Bodie, that's it. Thank you, Joe. How would I feel about getting Snell? I don't know how I'd feel about getting. I mean, I'd be happy. I think it would just depend on the contract. When do winter meetings start? December 9th through the 12th. What would one starting pitcher change that much? Didn't we start off last year with one of the lowest starter ERAs for a while? Yeah, but I think adding in a frontline guy absolutely changes the outlook of this rotation. I think one, it makes them from a top 10 rotation to probably a top 6 rotation in the game, and immediately that's more wins, right? 2, it strengthens the bullpen by allowing you to move one of your pieces that was supposed to be in the rotation into the bullpen. And 3, it just sort of adds that sort of commitment, right? It adds that commitment. How close is Sasaki to a sure thing in developing an ace and an all-star? What up, Dinah? It's definitely not a sure thing, right? He's young. He hasn't pitched a ton of innings throughout his career. I had some issues this year. Sure thing, no, but really, really close, I would say so. Like the talent is certainly there. The price, it's not even a question. Start, bench, cut, Fried, Snell, Burns. I mean, this is just personal opinion, Beast. They're all. I think Snell's in a tier below a little bit, but I would probably go Fried, start, Snell, bench, cut, Burns, just strictly based on fit with the Red Sox. What's up, Tracy? Doesn't Crochet seem like a realistic option? Yeah. I think Crochet is certainly someone to keep an eye on as we go through here. I don't know whether or not they're going to get it done. There are a lot of teams. So there was a listing today for like 4 teams that were in on them. What scared me was the Dodgers, Phillies, Orioles, and Red Sox. And when we're talking about which team will offer them the biggest contract, I get nervous with those teams, right? Because the Dodgers just seem to be able to veil their prospects until they're traded, right? They make them look like gods, and then they're traded, and all of a sudden it's like, what just happened? The Phillies just don't give a damn, right? If Dave wants to win, he's going to win. The Orioles have, if you're talking about what team in Major League Baseball has a better crop of prospects than the Red Sox, position-wise, it's basically nobody. The Orioles are in that conversation, right? So those are like the three teams you didn't want. Like if you're going up against the Yankees, please, right? If you can't match a Spencer Jones who is booty, then we got a problem. But if you can't match a Colby Mayo, I don't know. I think that makes me nervous a bit, but I do think it's a bit realistic. The problem with Sasaki is his consistency. From what I read, the guy could throw consistency. No, I think it's more so just availability past like 150 innings would be what I would say. Roki has two amazing pitches, so I think he's a sure thing closer. Closer or closer? Because I don't think he's coming over to be a closer, to be honest with you, versatility. I mean, he was striking out Mike Trout, right? He was striking out Mookie Betts like it was nothing. He did develop, so he has the splitter. He developed a curveball this year that looked pretty good. I think what he's going to need to do is really develop that cutter and slider. Would I trade for Alcantara? Yeah, it would just depend. Roki's West Coast bound. I mean, that was the original thinking, but kind of everyone right now is saying no, he doesn't want to go to LA. So we might need to readjust that line of thinking. Do you think Hal could be better than 2024? Better? No, but I think he can match what he did in 2024. Yeah. I think Crochet is a real possibility given the White Sox sent scouts to scout our prospects. Yeah. I mean they wanted him. Oh, I see. I read it wrong, versatility. I think. I don't think we're connecting on this one. Any news about Soto? Yeah, so I knew we were gonna. There were gonna be questions about it, so I've been looking into it a bit. They all like to be closer to home for what? Like this is always my conversation with Japanese players wanting to go to the West Coast. Why? Right? The only reason I could think of would be it's easier to market, right? Because there's less of a time difference between LA and New England. But other than that, what else are we talking about? These guys, how many players fly home on a weekend? And when was the last time Rafael Devers took a day off and flew all the way down to the Dominican? Yeah, weather, sure, but also players come up from the Dominican all the time. They go all over the country. That's never been an issue for anyone but Japanese players. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, that makes no sense to me. Priority should be Teoscar for 4 years. 4 years? You want to sign Teoscar Hernandez till he's 36 years old? I wouldn't do that. What up, Daniel? Okay, I mean, that's just kind of a dumb statement, right? I'm not going to get into the geopolitics of it all, but no, right now, they're not. Yeah, but you could find a community if you're so hell-bent on being in your community, you could find a community anywhere. Anywhere. Are there many Japanese Seattle players? I mean, Yu Darvish for the San Diego Padres. Outside of that, no. Could be an overpay, but that's the cost of doing business in 2024. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that you'd have him pretty much immovable until he's 36. Don't like that one. As a SoCal native, Dodgers fans think they're a super team for a decade or more. I mean, they kind of are, right? When's Mookie a free agent? I don't even know. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say, Joe. We're not going to get into the geopolitics of the demographic of each city and how that relates to a player's choice. Because I just, at the end of the day, I mean, there's probably something, maybe something to that. I don't think it's a top. I simply don't. $20.33, yeah. So Mookie's locked in forever. Freddie's locked in forever. Otani's locked in forever. You've got a young pitching core. You got Yamamoto there forever. I don't know how they're not. You know what I mean? Who's another? I'm not saying Teoscar is not realistic. I'm not saying they're not realistic. I'm just saying I don't know if it makes sense for us to do 4 years for a 33-year-old. So I think it'd be 37. I don't know. Yeah, Bayo's Dominican. And Manuel Valdez, I believe, is Dominican. Yeah, he is. Willier's Venezuelan. Is there any pitch? I mean, Joely was Dominican. He's obviously not with the team anymore. What does this matter? I mean, you're not versatility. You're off a little bit. Santander does not strike out as much as Tyler O'Neill. It's going to be hard pressed to find anyone in baseball who strikes out as much as Tyler O'Neill. This year, Tyler O'Neill struck out 33% of the time. Versatility. Anthony Santander has a career 20% strikeout rate, so 13% less. Last season specifically, it was 19.4%. So he was 14% less than Tyler O'Neill, so not entirely. He definitely puts the ball in play more. Batting average was definitely lower, for sure. Hit 44 home runs with 102 RBIs. You know what I mean? I think there's a little bit different. What's up, Michael? Sorry, man. Yeah, my Instagram's a little bit funky. I don't get notifications for people who are requesting. A lot lower. So Anthony Santander hit 325 or 235. Tyler O'Neill hit 241. I mean, that's less than 20 points. It's not. It's 6 points. Versatility. I don't know about that one, man. 6 points lower in the batting average with 14% less strikeouts, more walks. I don't know, man. I think I take that. Switch hitting. Yeah, sorry, 335. 335 would be nuts. How many rounds are there in the Rule 5 draft? Only a couple. Yeah, so the home runs, it's sort of a wash, right? I think the O'Neill probably hits like 45, 47 if he plays the full year. We'll give that a wash. But again, everything else is it's about the same. Or sorry, it's more towards Santander. I personally, I think, right? I mean, you can argue the average, I guess, if you want to go with 6 points, but I don't know about that one. The strikeout rate makes me a little bit more giddy, right? So if you're going to give me 40 home runs, which is about the same as Tyler O'Neill, probably a little bit less if we're being honest per game. I wonder if it gives it home runs per at bat. Let me see if I can find that quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but let me find it quickly, see if I can get it. No, I'd have to go in deeper. All right, I could do this. Santander's home run percentage was 6.6. They had the exact same home runs. So they had the exact same home run percentage. Anthony Santander struck out less. He's a switch hitter. He played more games. They had around the same amount of average. Santander hit the ball a little less hard, I guess, more in the air. I don't know. I think they're pretty close, but one plays 155, one plays 100, right? I think that's a big difference. Yeah, neither was O'Neal, though, Warrior. Honestly, Tyler O'Neal wasn't very good defensively this year. How much do I think O'Neal's asking for? I don't know. I would guess it'd probably be about 16, 17 million for a couple of years. That'd be my guess. Cleve, my answer to that would always be Max Fried until he's not. You'd take O'Neal? Why? Corbin, did I hear right that the Sox are going to give Soto the largest contract they ever did? Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to bid the largest contract in team history, right? If they want to even play the game, they're going to have to do it. That doesn't mean they're going to win them. Yeah, I'm kind of warming up to the idea of, say, Don Rafaela being a sort of super utility player. I wonder if that's something they would be willing to do. How realistic is the Sox going after Corbin Burns? I don't know, honestly. To me, there hasn't been really anything publicly linking them outside of that one video we made where the odds, for some reason, were the Red Sox second favorites to land him. He's been predicted a lot to the Red Sox. I don't know, honestly. Is it realistic? I don't know. O'Neal better defense. Last year, he didn't really have very good defense. I haven't seen anything about them checking in on Buehler now. Do you think we had a top outfield last year? Yeah, I would say so. I think we had one of the more athletic outfields. Was Santander a better defender? He played a lot of DH, didn't he? Actually, Santander. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, he was not a very good defender. He had -7 defensive run save. This is sort of a weird one to look at with outfielders. Let me see what he had defensive run saved. Yeah, he was definitely worse than Tyler O'Neal was for sure in the outfield. But Tyler O'Neal wasn't exactly fantastic either. Do we see infield moves? I don't know. Yeah, for sure versatility. Yeah, historically O'Neal is a very, very good defender. I don't know what happened last year. I'm wondering if the Red Sox told him to like cool it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I usually do too, Daniel. I didn't want to click over to it and have to research it and sort of pause the conversation. But yeah, I would agree, Daniel. Instead of Soto, I'd rather they wait for Guerrero next year. What about both? Why not just sign both? I mean, you have the opportunity to do either of them. Sign them. You know what I mean? Bregman at third, Rafi DH to stay healthy and better infield defense. I don't like Bregman, especially for the money. Adames, that Mark is pretty high on. I would take Adames over Bregman, especially if both of them are willing to move positions. But it's not like Alex Bregman's bad. It's not like he's bad at all. I personally just think that he's going to start really declining. Like, he had the lowest OPS plus he's had. Well, I guess 2021 was pretty bad too. But yeah, I mean, you look at it, it's like, yeah, he's a 4-WAR player, which is solid, but do we even know Adames could play third base? He's a very, very good defensive shortstop. I think he'd be fine over at third base. I actually think he'd be really good over at third base. But he doesn't even have to go to third base. Maybe he mans second base, and you can sort of, maybe you put Christian Campbell at third base. So you move Christian Campbell in the outfield. There's a million ways you can go with Adames that I'd personally be much more comfortable with than I would Bregman, especially because the money's going to be most likely around the same. Adames, in my opinion, I don't know. I think it's Adames by a wide margin. If we're going just simply in terms of tier ranking, which infielder I'd rather have, Bregman hates the Red Sox. Bregman really won't care about that if he gets paid a crap ton of money. We should trade David Hamilton to the Giants for Blake Sabol and Casey Schmidt. I know Casey Schmidt, but I haven't heard much about Blake Sabol, so I don't know if I can tell you that much. Bregman's a better hitter than Adames. Well, we'll continue our research day. Man, you guys are making my fingers bleed over here. I wish I knew more of these free agent stuffs off the top of my head. They were about the same hitter last year. They're about the same hitter last year, actually, almost to a T. Bregman had about a 10-point higher average, but Adames had more home runs, more RBIs, more doubles, higher slug, higher on base percentage. Who I think is going to be second base next season? I really don't know. My gut is telling me it's Campbell, but there's a lot of reasons it could also definitely be. What up, Flanty? It could definitely be the Yankees. It could definitely be Grissom. I'm trying to read these chats while talking. I'm going terrible. Assuming it's not a 0% chance it happens, would you believe the Red Sox strike out on everyone? I don't even want to think about it, to be honest with you, Noah. That would drive me nuts. We should try and trade for Guerrero and extend him. Yeah, but it's just such a big risk. It's such a big risk. And I talked about in the video where the guy who predicted the super team or whatever, if you could talk to Vladdy, which I think they did. I don't remember the Kurt Schilling thing really well, to be honest with you, but from my understanding, they did something similar to Kurt where they went and talked to him first before getting the deal done. Hey, would you be open to an extension if we brought you here, whatever it was, and they traded and extended him? If you could do that, yeah, go get Vladdy. But if you can't, man, you're most likely going to have to give up Casas. So now all of a sudden, sure, you give Vladdy for 2025, and maybe you do compete really well for 2025, but now you're in the same place as the Yankees, right? Where you're stuck essentially either having to shell out way more money than everybody else. Way more money than everybody else to get that back because there's so much pressure to do it, or you lose them and you don't have a first baseman when you could have had, at the bare minimum, a solid everyday first baseman for the next 4 years in Casas, right? With the potential to be a top 5 first baseman in Major League Baseball. So I don't know. Montgomery won't stay in AAA. Yeah, Montgomery will be in AAA by the end of next year for sure. Any updates on Juan? So we don't have any specifics. So this. I did want to talk some Juan Soto. I know people. I know people are a little bit sick of the Juan Soto stuff, but let's have a conversation about it anyways. So I wanted to bring up a couple of things. The first is, remember how I said, I don't control the ads, dude. Then don't watch. I don't know what to tell you. I don't control the ads. You could talk to a team and make a trade deal contingent on the player signing extension. Doesn't happen often, but it has happened. So maybe that would be where I'd be like, yep, send Tristan, right? Again, this jersey is a Tristan Casas jersey. He's one of my favorite players that have come up in a very long time. I love that dude. Talking to him in person was incredible. He's an extremely, extremely nice guy. I think he could be the face of a team if he could stay healthy. If you give Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for Casas and then Vladdy for 10 years, I don't know, man. I think I'd do it. You can include as many ads as you want. I don't know why you refuse to believe me on anything. I don't control the ads. I do not put ads in the videos manually. I do not do that. I go into YouTube under monetization settings, less ads, and I hit play. That's it. Let YouTube insert for me less ads. That's it. Do you see Teal at catcher this season? Maybe at some point, but Breslow has openly said, look, we aren't going to start Teal at the major league level, so I don't think we see him to start it off now. Teal in 26. Yeah, I think Teal will be full-time in 2026. I'm not saying, look, the only person I'm trading Tristan Casas for is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think it's a really dumb idea to trade him for starting pitching. I think it's really, really dumb. But if you could trade him for Vlad, I mean, dude, it's the same player but right-handed, right? I don't know. They went it over Kurtz over Thanksgiving. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, we'll talk about Jordan Montgomery in a second. I just want to get through these questions. What's the percentage chance we get Juan Soto? I'm gonna stick still at like 10 maybe. I think that's where it is. I'm gonna keep it at 10, just based on everything I've heard. Based on everything I've heard over every single media source, it sounds like the Red Sox are legitimately invested. Now, I still don't give them a good chance, but I don't think it's 0, and I don't think it's like 20. So I'll give it 10. Why so much hatred for Tristan? I don't know how you're interpreting that as hatred. So let's talk about Soto a little bit. I know people want to talk about it. So since the Red Sox meeting, you've had the Mets meet with him, you've had the Yankees meet with him, you've had the Dodgers meet with him, which I swear to God, if Soto goes to the Dodgers, I'm just going to stop watching baseball. Like, I just can't handle that. That would be so boring for the game of baseball. There'd be no, like, even this World Series was at least moderately fascinating because it was Judge and Soto versus Ohtani and Betts, which ended up being Freddie's World Series anyways. But that doesn't mean anything. And then you had the Phillies, right? And so all of a sudden, there are two things that really stuck out to me about the Soto meetings over the last couple of days. The first one is exactly what I said in the video where we broke down the Soto meeting with the Red Sox, right? Where the one thing that stood out to me was Henry not being there. And I still don't think it's a massive deal because the Red Sox aren't owned by a singular person. They're owned by an organization. So you send representatives of that organization. I think that's fine. But when you got Steve Cohen, you got Hal, you got these guys in the meeting with Juan Soto, I think it does become a little bit of a bigger deal, right? Tom Werner is the secondary primary holder of FSG, right? He's not some small duck. Him being there is significant, but Henry being there would have just, you know what I mean? It would have brought it from here to, let's bring it up to here a little bit, right? So that's something that stood out to me a little bit looking at those stories and seeing that come out. The other thing is all of a sudden, right? And we knew this was going to happen. We knew it wasn't a 4-horse race or really a 3-horse race. No one's giving the Blue Jays a chance. But man, the Phillies coming in, the Dodgers coming in, and then a mystery team. I don't really know if there's a mystery team. Every free agent's got some mystery team in on them, especially if they're a Boris client. I don't think there's really a mystery team. Regardless. That makes me nervous again, right? All of a sudden, the pool goes from, man, can we outbid the Yankees and the Yankees and the Mets? That's already a tall task. Can we outbid Deal and Dave, the juggernaut that is the Dodgers, an entire country in the Blue Jays, the team that has gotten torched for even letting Juan Soto go to free agency in the Yankees, and the deepest pocket of all owners in the Mets, right? Can we do that? That's where I'm sort of sitting there and I'm like, woof, man. So I don't know. It just what's up, James? It just feels like it feels like, the mountain was here and it was like, man, that's going to be tough to climb that mountain. And then boom, right? You get to the peak and there's just 4,000 more feet to go to the top. You just didn't see it because the first mountain was so high. I don't know. Nationals could be there are a couple, the East saying the Giants. Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of different teams. I still think if the Red Sox put up the money necessary in the same ball, because once you get past 600, let's say, Mets offer $650 million. The Yankees offer $645 million. And the Red Sox offer $640 million. Once you get past $600 million, I don't really think that difference of $10 million is going to make or break this deal. And if you're there and the Red Sox can't put up another $10 million, it's a little bit tough, right? You've already committed $645 million, but that's beside the point. Let's say that he gets up there, the Red Sox say, look, this is our max bid. It's $10 million off of the Mets, which is, by the way, if you're putting it over 14 years, less than $1 million a season. But then it might come down to the intangibles. And versatility, put it correctly. And this is where I think the Red Sox can strive. If they can meet the money, they can meet every single one of his needs. The Red Sox will be competitive, if not this year, very, very soon, just simply based on how their pipeline is doing. The Red Sox will make you the face of their franchise for the next 14 years. You will be that dude. I don't care what anyone else says. You won't be the dude on the Dodgers. You'll be like the third on the Dodgers, maybe fourth. You certainly won't be the dude in New York. They didn't even pay Yamamoto because the face of their pitching staff wouldn't allow it. You won't be the face of Philly. That will forever be Bryce Harper's home. You will not be the face of the Mets. Francisco Lindor cemented himself in that position. I love Rafael Devers. Rafi himself doesn't want to be the face of this franchise, right? He just wants to quietly go out there and hit tanks. Soto is that dude in Boston. And then you talk about, hey, you know that guy that lives directly next to you, that guy that when you were doing these meetings sat with your mom and your brother to talk about them, to talk about the Red Sox? Yeah, that dude, he was the face of the Red Sox for 15 years, whatever it was. We've won 3 World Series with Dominican players at the forefront. You will be joining the ranks of David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, Pedro Martinez. We have had 2 separate World Series MVPs that have been Dominican. The forever face of our franchise. David Ortiz could die in 40 years, and 100 years from now, people will be talking about him. The best pitcher in Red Sox history was Dominican. I mean, you just sit there. And you say, look, right? That plays no factor. How can you, you are driving me nuts tonight. How can you say that the Dominican heritage, the lineage that the Red Sox have created with Dominican-born players here means nothing? But hey, Roki, that dude's got to be with Japanese heritage players, right? There's no way he's coming to the Red Sox. What are we doing? You can't say one without saying the other. That's totally not true. That's totally not true. Do I think the Red Sox would even pony up? Here's where I sit with this, right? Maybe they don't offer the most amount of money, but if they are in the game, they understand how much it's going to cost. They have to. They aren't sitting there saying, we're going to throw our hat in the ring because we think Juan Soto will take $300 million. We're convinced he's going to take $300 million. They're not going to do that, right? That would be dumb. That'd be a misinformation of the market. And it doesn't feel as though the Red Sox are that misinformed by the market. If they are meeting with Juan Soto, they understand what the price tag is. And to me, that leads me to believe, yeah, they're willing to pony up. Now, there's a difference between ponying up and going and paying way over everybody else, which is what everyone's concerned Steve Cohen's going to do, right? This won't come down to Spanish heritage. No, it won't. It'll come down to money. But my point is, Alex, if the money is all the same or the money is similar, if the money is the same or it's similar, it comes down to the intangibles. It does. Right? You're not gonna take $750,000 more a year when you're already making $600 million. You're just not. It's going to come down to the intangibles that land Juan Soto. It's either that or the Mets blow everybody out, right? And again, what are the intangibles we know Juan Soto cares about? He wants to be the face. He wants to be that dude. Where can he do that? Right here in Boston. And it's absolutely something to separate yourselves. Again, if we're talking about how the Red Sox pivot themselves in a position that is different than New York, LA, Philadelphia, and Toronto, there's 2 ways to do that. How are they not We know for a fact the Red Sox put this in their pitch. We know for a fact that David Ortiz is a very important person to Juan Soto. We know for a fact that the Red Sox and what they build on the backs of these Dominican players is absolutely important to Juan Soto. That has been confirmed. I don't know how you are sitting there saying, Corbin, you sound like an idiot. Because once it's been confirmed, this isn't me talking out my ass. This is legitimate conversations. This is legitimate factual information. I just don't know what you want from me. I just simply I can't understand what the difference is. The Mets can offer a bunch of money. Can they offer consistent winning? I don't know. Do you know how much people... okay. Good arguments, but I still see the Mets offering hundreds of millions. The Kingdom of Luxembourg and a space shuttle. Yeah. Again, at the end of the day, it comes down to whether or not the Red Sox can get in the same ballpark, right? That's what it comes down to. If they can get in the same ballpark, then the money's no longer a question, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. The money is no longer a question. So then you look at how do the Red Sox separate themselves from LA, New York, and Philadelphia. That's it, right? Good. You should be getting a little bit pumped about it. We should have high expectations of this offseason. Is this market really valuing Soto as 2 times better than Harper? Yeah. There were concerns over Harper health-wise with his back when he was in free agency, and I think that kind of stalled it a lot. Soto doesn't have any health concerns. He's already a Hall of Famer, right? He's 25. When did Bryce Harper enter free agency? Was he about 25 too? He's probably right around there. Let me get the exact years. Yeah, he was. It was the exact same. Wilyer Abreu trade talk? Yeah, I think Willier's going to be shopped around a lot. 18 was the year? Yeah, so it was 18 going into 19. Yeah, he was 25. So, yeah, it's a similar one. That was also, 6 years ago now, right? Markets change a little bit in 6 years. I think that's part of it. I think there were concerns. And there were also, Bryce Harper was incredible. He was kind of coming off of a down year, man. Like, it was still really good, but it wasn't what we had seen in the MVP season or the season after that or the season after that. I mean, it was a little bit down. So that was part of it too. Other than Scott, seems it's really hard to find great arms. Yeah, it'll be interesting. How many big name players are there in the offseason? I think people are putting Sasaki's a big name, Soto is a big name, Burns is a big name, Fried is a big name. I think I'd put Snell in there as well. I think that's sort of the top tier. You think Soto's contract would include deferred money? No. If it included deferred money, I think it'd already been extended. Is it a possibility they trade Rafaela Cedon? I don't think it's impossible. I just don't think he's got... he probably does have a decent amount of value. It's just kind of... Unless you're planning on putting Christian Campbell maybe in the outfield. I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it creates a bit of a hole unless, again, you want to do all the left fielders. They extended him, but that doesn't mean they can't trade him, right? You think we lose anyone in the Rule 5 draft? Yeah, I think the Red Sox will definitely. There's so many people the Red Sox have. I mean, we went down the list of names, right? It's like 60 players. What's up, AJ? Have I talked Soto yet? Oh boy, he's gonna be pissed. Yeah, we're talking about him right now. Yeah, Soto's under contract, but that doesn't mean he's untradeable, right? We've seen it before. It actually makes him a little bit easier to be traded. Yeah, Joe, I kind of agree with that. Heard White Sox are in on Soto. Keep Abreu over Rafaela. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. Corbin leaked that Soto's under contract already. Yeah, Soto's under contract. Who's going to Seattle for one of their pitchers, Duran or Abreu? Look, if you want to get one of the top pitchers from Seattle, it's going to have to be Duran. I don't know if I don't know. I really don't love the idea of trading Duran. I think it's possible. I don't like it. Rafi can play anywhere. Oh, I was like, Rafael Devers. What? It's like, who? See, you know what's bothering the hell out of me is I have one patch right here that isn't as thick as the rest of this mustache, and it's driving me crazy. Maybe that's just the lighting. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. Speaking of that, I'm just joining in. Have you heard that to get Crochet, you have to part with Duran or Casas? I wouldn't do that. If that's the ask, yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah, Daniel, I think we will see some moves for the bullpen, right? We already saw Justin Wilson. I think it'll be interesting. I'm assuming they'll get one. Thanks, Lee. It's not great, but it's there. I think they'll get one legit name for that bullpen to really sort of hammer it home. And then I think, yeah, development is really what they're going to go for to make that bullpen better. And that's why they fired all the bullpen coaches. That's why they're bringing in all the different bullpen coaches that were solid last year. They put Chase Meidroth. No, Chase Meidroth's not on the 40-man roster. It doesn't sound like Rooker's going to be traded. They think I could trade for Helsley. So Helsley's interesting to me. Also, I think E got mad and left, and then we immediately started talking about pitching, and I think that's absolutely hilarious. Let's talk about Helsley. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like, Jack. Yeah, no, it's for a good cause, though. I'm ready to get rid of it, but it's for a good cause. Let me see. Cardinals. Instead of Soto all day, that's insane. like no. I just flat out no. Chris Sale won the Cy Young, sure did. Helsley's not too. How many years of are? Oh, he only has 1 year left. Makes me sneeze. It's just itchy, man. I never have. You guys know I never have facial hair, so it's just itchy. Not really. G. He's a Hall of Fame hitter. He's already a Hall of Fame hitter, right? Ted Williams gave you nothing defensively or on the base pass. Manny Ramirez gave you nothing defensively on the base pass. If they were playing in this market and they were 25 years old, you would have no problem giving Manny Ramirez $600 million if you won 2 World Series and he was one of the best hitters in baseball. Ted Williams, one of the greatest hitters ever, right? You'd have no problem giving him $600 million to just hit, right? I really don't like when people are like, oh, but he's not good defensively. I don't care, right? He's already a Hall of Famer. So I don't know if you guys listen to Baseball is Dead, right? The Harold Baines meter. Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame. Let me do something real quick. This will probably. All right, so through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through 7 seasons in Major League Baseball, Juan Soto has 36.4 baseball reference WAR. Okay, through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through 13 years in Major League Baseball, Bryce Harper, who's one of the game's best players, has 51. Right, Juan Soto's more than halfway there. Halfway in terms of the amount of years he's played. Right, that's just sort of an example. 36.4 WAR. Let's look at the Hall of Fame sort of statistics here. Okay, so let's play a game. Ready? Similar players to Juan Soto, considering batting average, considering everything, considering batting scores. Here's the list. You ready? Bryce Harper, Frank Robinson, Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Trout, Andrew Jones, Eddie Matthews, Miguel Cabrera, Mickey Mantle, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A pretty good list to be on. You're looking at that. Just imagine the Ted Williams, Varde, Soto playing for the same team as Ted, Red Sox. It's a great storyline. Yeah, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. We've been talking pitching in and out, man. We've been talking pitching in and out. When I think Roman Anthony will debut, I think he's got a chance to crack the opening day roster. A lot of people disagree. Sounds like it'll probably be May or June or July. Who am I targeting in the open market? What do you mean, the trade market or the free agent market? I did take a look at that, G. I might get into it. I want to get into. I don't want to do too much Snell and Fried because I think there's going to be a lot of conversations surrounding both Fried and Snell throughout this offseason, considering, Tracy gifted a membership. Can we get some claps for Tracy in the chat? Gifted one to Daniel. That's really kind of you, Tracy. Thank you so much. I don't want to get too into Snell and Fried right now because I think especially over the next 3 weeks-ish. When is 1, 2. Yeah, so the next 3-ish weeks before we get into winter meetings, I think is really going to be, we're going to get a lot of conversations about Snell and Fried. And I honestly probably after that too as well. So I'm going to hold off a little bit, but I think we're going to do that at some point, especially once we start to get like, they're meeting with Snell and Fried, because I think they're going to have big conversations with both. But I really appreciate the email on it, and I think we'll do it at some point. Do you think Dustin Pedroia will get voted in the Hall of Fame? Definitely not first ballot. I don't know. Will Grissom be an important piece of the team next year? Will they get rid of him? No, I think he'll be here. I think he'll be here next year, and I do think he has the starting second base job, in my opinion, right now. But he's gonna have to prove he deserves it, and I think that's gonna be a fight during spring training. And if it doesn't, well, then you option him down to AAA, and if you need somebody, maybe that's someone you move at the deadline. But I think right now, in my opinion, yeah, he should be a piece. When's the first domino gonna fall? I'm gonna say it's Teoscar, and I think Teoscar signs like a week before, maybe like a few days before winter. I think we're gonna have a pretty busy winter meetings this year. I think it's gonna be pretty big. We know Soto doesn't want to be a free agent all offseason, so I do think a lot of players are gonna wait until Soto signs. So I think we're gonna have a while to wait still until we get like a big free agent market splash. Being that we have interest in Adames, let me get back to that Flanty. $5 super chat from Mr. Prodigy. Can we get some claps in the chat? Actually, just like the message. Can we like that message for Prodigy? Unbelievably. Kind of my moderator to do. I really don't want to get mad this offseason again. It's so tiring. I agree. Also, do you see Hauk or Bayo starting starting opening day? My opinion should be Hauk. I think Hauk deserves it after last year. Mr. Money Mike Madness is in the building. Hello, Mike. I think Hauk deserves it. I love Bayo to death. I don't think he's the face of your rotation right now. I also don't think Giolito is going to be it. It's going to be interesting. If they sign like a big name, do they still give Hauk the nod or do they give that guy the nod? I don't know. Corbin, any idea if they're going to, if we're going to do a winter weekend in Springfield again? Doesn't sound like it, man. Unfortunately, it sounds like, what up, Arlen? Unfortunately, it sounds like they are not doing it in Springfield anymore. Yeah, why'd you have to bring it up, versatility? Why'd you? Now I got to explain it. Think one of the new pickups will be starting? Yeah, it kind of depends, right? If say Hauk comes in and he's still the top dog, he'll get it. But if they sign like a Snell or a Fried, I think one of them gets it. Do I have plans to go to Florida for spring training? I was going to, and then I proposed. So now I gotta, unless, obviously things go well this offseason and I start doing YouTube full time, and then it's a tax write-off, right? Probably not. We got to save some money. Could Sasaki signing in January 2025 drag the starting pitching market? No, probably not. I think because Sasaki's so limited in terms of the money he can make, it's not really a market setting. Like Juan Soto's a market setting name, right? That's a guy who's going to totally reset the market for free agents. Sasaki's not gonna, like, you can go and you can sign Max Fried for 172 million or whatever he's going to get, right? And still have plenty of money to sign Roki Sasaki. So I don't think he's going to set the market, no. How are the Kitties? They're good. They're good. They're starting to get along a little bit better. They still kind of hate each other, but infield prediction next year, 1st to 3rd. Starting opening day, I think it's still Casas at 1st. I think it's Grissom at 2nd. Story, if he's there, shortstop. Rafi at 3rd. I don't think there's gonna be too much change in the infield unless they do Adames. Roki can only make around 6. I think it's less than that. I think it'll only be like 4 million because they can only spend, I think it's 60% of their international free agent bonus money. I don't know. Tyler Milliken put out a good tweet. Would Corbin Burns set the pitcher market? That one's going to be a little bit more interesting, right? Because I think you can put Fried and Burns kind of in the same category. Yeah, I think you put them in the same category. Do I still think Soto is coming? I never thought we were favorites for Soto. We're still on this Soto dream. I don't know how talk about Roki Sasaki puts you in the mindset of a Soto dream, but okay, dude. How confident are we that we're getting Soto? Not very. Vlad first base, Story second base, Adames third base, Campbell. Boy, would that be an offseason, huh? Oh my God. They need a backup catcher already. Don't want to have to pick 2. Backup catcher, split roll catcher seems like a tough find. Yeah, I mean, they just signed Sebi Zavala to a minor league deal. Maybe you get some time at the majors, but writing planning yet? Yeah, we just started looking at venues. We're actually going on our first venue tour Saturday. So we'll see. Any catchers interest you? Yeah, I think Elias Diaz. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Elias Diaz is a name I would think the Red Sox would be interested in. He's really solid defensively. Has some, decent offensive potential. Whether or not he gets there, I don't know. Adames has pretty good defense too, though, no? Yeah, Adames was pretty solid. I mean, he's not Trevor Story defensively, but he's got pretty good arm. He was really, really good last year. I mean, this year he just wasn't very great, but man, the last 2 years he's been a top shortstop in the game. Yeah, I agree. Versus there's really not much on the. Make a new video about that article. Yeah, we'll talk. I think that's gonna be tomorrow's video. What was that, Alex Spear? I don't know where my phone is. I don't think my phone's in here. Higgy maybe? Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, Higashioka, that's who it was. I'm looking for the article. Sorry, chat. Why am I getting stuff from 4 days ago? What's going on? A short-term deal with Diaz seems like the best option with Teal coming. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem at all. Oh, Mike Silverman of the Boston Globe. Kind of sounds like they're backing off the Juan Soto from just the bullet points. I got to read the article. I'll definitely do that tomorrow. Appreciate it. Thanks, Cannoli. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can keep it. Who's the favorite for Soto? I think it's still the Yankees, but I don't know if I don't know how the Mets have got to be close. Let's sign Soto, Adames, Teoscar, Max Fried, trade for Crochet. What was the transaction earlier? I could watch the vid. You could watch the vid. Nick Pivetta declining his QO. They added Hunter Dobbins and Yostinson Garcia to the roster and DFA'd Brian Mata, as well as Isaiah Campbell. Who's more untouchable, Campbell or Meyer? I think right now it has to be Campbell, right? What up, Genetic? Welcome in. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. No one's entirely untouchable. I think that's true. No, it's not, Jose. It's not true. How's Campbell's defense? Really good. The Red Sox should do a blockbuster trade that sends Soto to the Sox and Kike back to the Sox and the Yankees going, brother, what? Do I see Soto going to the Dodgers? Yeah. Yeah, I could absolutely see a world in which the Dodgers somehow end up with Juan Soto. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked at all. It would make me unbelievably mad, but what's the latest on trading Yoshida? Oh, we finally can get to the Montgomery stuff. Just wait for someone else to ask, to be honest with you. So I've been seeing a lot of connections between Jordan Montgomery and Masataka Yoshida. This to me is absolutely fascinating. I know we went over a little bit. You're back, Steven. What's up? I know we went over it a little bit. Man, my iPad's freezing. I know we went over a little bit last live stream, but I do want to dive into this a little bit more. I should say a little bit more is a better way of saying that. It's an interesting conversation, right? Because Jordan Montgomery was god awful last year. I mean, 6.23 ERA. It's not like he didn't pitch. He threw 25 he had 25 games. 21 of those were starts. The FIP wasn't much better. Strikeouts were way down. Walks were way up. He had the second highest walk rate of his career, the lowest strikeout rate of his career. He was giving up about the same home runs, actually. We'll give him that. He was giving up way more hits. The most hits he's given up throughout his career. He was highest whip. I mean, this dude was god awful, right? But at the same time, we talk about it. He didn't get a spring training. He was clearly miffed about the deal he did end up getting. I don't know, man. Can he get back to the 3.20 ERA he had in 23 with a 3.56 FIP? That's the question, right? Can he do that? Can he be the guy in Texas that we saw with a 2.79 ERA and a 3.27 FIP? If that's what they're confident in, he's about the same dollar wise. No, he's definitely more. Yeah, I don't know. How old is he? He's 30. This will be 32. We know he's on the block, right? We know Jordan Montgomery's on the block. We know the Red Sox. I mean, Masataka Yoshida is definitely at this point just on paper. We know Masataka Yoshida on paper is more valuable than Jordan Montgomery. But if we take a look at fit with the Red Sox, you know what I mean? Red Sox never offered Montgomery a deal. No, they did. They put a four-year offer on the table. Montgomery said, no, I don't want to go there. The reports are false. No, the reports are true. I mean, he was quoted saying, I didn't want to go to the Red Sox because I wanted to compete. That's an interesting angle too, Joe. Is it, so if you're trying to get is Max Fried under Boris too, or is it just Corbin Burns? I know Snell is. Snell still is, right? Boris, MLB clients. Boy, is this outdated. My God. The MLB trade rumor transactions tracker for Scott Boras still has Adrian Beltre, Jake Arrieta, Mark Appel, who I think is out of the league, right? Joe Adell, Dustin Akeley. Can I just get a list here? Soto, Garrett. So Soto's one of them. Snell's one of them. Bregman's one of them. Reese opted in, right? Yeah, Reese opted in. Jerkson Profar, he's one of them. I don't know if the Red Sox even in. Shamanai is one of them. Yusei Kikuchi. I mean, he's got so many. He's got so many. Even not even just like the top names, even other guys. I don't know. That's an interesting conversation, Joe. Would trading for Jordan Montgomery be like a hey? I appreciate that, Scott. Thank you. Thank you so much. How rich is Boris? I would guess pretty rich, huh? I would guess he's pretty loaded. But I wouldn't hate this if the Red Sox traded for Massa and they sent over, let's say they send over, what Massa's making what? He's making like 14, 18 million a year, somewhere around there. Say they give you $5 million and take Yoshida for Montgomery. What would you guys do? I don't know. What would you guys do? Interest King's back at it. Gabe, quick, name me another team that's done anything this offseason that you would have wanted the Red Sox to do that you think the Red Sox should have done. Go. David Ortiz called during the Soto. Yeah, I think we knew that. Cubs, what did the Cubs do that you wanted? Oh, they traded for Eli Morgan. The Angels, I want Kyle Hendricks so bad. Do I think they sent him a message? I want to believe, but we'll see. I mean, Gabe, again, dude, like, there's just nothing to like. Everyone's like, "Where's the moves? Where's the moves?" They say they're gonna do it. Where's the moves? The problem is the market's held up right now, right? There's no one making. Everyone's meeting with teams. Everyone's looking at. They're all assessing it. Travis Darnell, I'll give you guys. I wanted Travis Darnell too. But I wonder if Travis Darnell is someone that the Red Sox talked to and offered like a backup role to, and he was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go to who did he end up going to? Why wasn't Ortiz there? Because he was with Soto's mom and siblings. The Red Sox hit him from all angles. Angels. He went to the Angels? I guess that makes sense. Who says no to a trade centered around Meyer for Crochet? Me. Yeah, Daniel, it's you sit there, it's the same rumors about the same stuff, and you can't stop talking about it, Soto, Corbin, if we got Soto, would you bat him second and Devers third to split him up with a righty? No, I think I go him back to back. Do I think the Red Sox will get one big name free agent? And yeah, I think they do one really significant thing. $18 million a year for Yoshida. So let's say they trade. Let's say the Red Sox trade for Montgomery. The Arizona Diamondbacks give you $6 million to even out the contracts a bit. What do you think? Would you be okay with that or no? Christian Vasquez, I think I'm good. With his mom, yeah, dude. The only team that had a representative with his family was the Red Sox, but yeah. Those idiots, those morons, huh? They couldn't get David Ortiz out here. He was with Soto's mom. What are we doing? What morons? Look at these guys. Dude, I just don't think you know what you're talking about. I think Pivetta is coming back, but I think to replace him, I don't think Pivetta's coming back. I'm really open. What's going to be funny is we're going to be talking about Soto every single live stream until he signs somewhere. It's going to drive everyone nuts because, what else is he going to do? He's the biggest free agent that's been a free agent since Ohtani, outside of Ohtani for the last 10 years. What's up with Meyer? Will he be up next year or not? Yeah, he'll be up. It's going to be a little bit after the other two. Yeah, it'll probably be around the same time Teal comes up. Short drive. Is there any more international guys of interest this year? Haven't heard of anyone other than Sasaki, even on a Fetty level. There was that one guy, Kyle something, who was on the Red Sox, was terrible, and then went to the Korean Baseball League and did really well. Clown show? Then don't watch, brother. Hey, I'm streaming it. Ha-Seong Kim, too. He looks very good. I think I'm good on Ha-Seong Kim. I just don't see how he improves the Red Sox, right? The defense is fantastic. But you go through it and it's like, yeah, the bat's fine. But he's not going to be healthy. No, not Barraclough. No, it was Kyle Hart, yeah. Montgomery's not an ace or number two. No, you're right. You're right, he's not. But at the same time, too, John, if you're looking to balance out this lineup, if you're looking to call some of these young players up without really having to give up too much, right? Which situation is better? Massa still being here, or Montgomery with the ceiling he has here for sort of just swapping each other out, right? Which one? That's sort of the conversation, right? It's not so much Jordan Montgomery's coming into Frontline this rotation. It would be sort of coming in to supplement it. Man, I can't believe you got that. I'll take Adames or Grissom. Yeah, I think over Ha-Seong Kim. Yeah, I would too. I think out till September. I don't think it'll be that long. Yeah, actually, I do agree with E on that. Let's not bring politics into this. After last season, Montgomery definitely is a lead guy. No, he's not. He's not. Again, I'm not saying that he's coming in as a lead guy, right? My point is which situation benefits the Red Sox more. Oh, that's awesome, Mike. I'm really happy, man. I'm happy you're feeling better. I'm sorry that happened to you. Oh, this is a completely different guy we're talking about, Joe. Are you talking about the one on the Padres? Hey, Corbin, how much money do you think the Paul Skeens car will go for at auction if it gets sold? I don't know. Someone was saying like $500,000. The Pirates are offering a package. I think it's equal to $1.5 million. I have no idea. No, he's an international free agent. Let me see. That's why I was like, I thought we went over him before. Let's take a look. He's a lefty, so that might be a little bit of an interesting tidbit here. I mean, yeah, he looks solid. He's a big contact guy, huh? Yeah, I don't know if this really like totally excites me. 326 average is solid. 383 on base percentage is solid. The slug looks pretty good. He had an 841 OPS. But there wasn't a ton of pop. I mean, he was hitting doubles. He was still striking out a decent amount. I don't know. What does he play? Second baseman, third baseman, or shortstop and left fielder. He's got some versatility. He actually looks pretty solid. Oh, he's not great at second base. He had 15 errors in 126 games. Don't love that. 16 errors this year in 119 games at second base. Yeah, I don't know if this is someone I really would be totally in on. Not sure if this has already been touched, but if we're talking Massa, I like him for Castellanos. Yeah, that'd be great. If they could do that, sure. But again, this is one of the things where with Castellanos, where do you put him in the outfield, and do you here's my thought process, Sox, with trading Massa, is if you're gonna trade him, it should be to open up. It should be to open up that DH role, right? That's sort of my conversation here, because if you can open up that DH role, then you can fit a 4-man outfield on this team. You can go and get a Soto or a Teoscar, right? And you can have Roman Anthony still come up, because then you could just, keep the wheels moving. You can rotate that. You could do it if you go and get an infielder, right? You could start splitting time between Rafi and maybe a Willie Adames or something like that. If you're like, the only reason to trade, if you're gonna, they kind of evened each other out this year, right? Castellanos and I think Castellanos, I don't know though. That DH should be Devers. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like Castellanos was not great this year. He had a .8 WAR. He really hasn't been great for a couple of years. So you're kind of swapping it, right? I think it was about the same OPS plus about. I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. I think I would do it, but I would want him to. Some of the work gets dragged down by awful defense. True. Let me look at the offense WAR. So it was two offensive WAR this year, which again is pretty solid in a 162 game season. He also strikes out a lot more. He doesn't strike out a lot, period. He strikes out a lot more than Massa does. And I think that's something to pay attention to. This is an interesting one. I might make this a video. More power and right-handed balance doesn't fix all the problems, fixes the big ones. Does it fix the big ones? Castellanos a bad fit for the Red Sox. Why? Why is Castellanos a bad clubhouse guy? Who the Red Sox lose for the Rule 5 draft? No one, not yet. He's a cursed man. Yeah, but I mean, what is that going to do to a clubhouse? If we somehow land Soto and Sasaki, do you think ownership says F it? Let's take on Tatis Jr.'s contract? No, because the Padres will never trade Tatis. I thought maybe there was a possibility. Why is Montgomery in the thumbnail? We were just talking about it. There's been a lot of conversations. There's been a lot of conversations about Montgomery traded for Yoshida. The big issue for me is the right-handed, left-handed balance. To me, honestly, really screwed up the lineup at many times. Here's the problem with that, Sox. Here's the problem with that. It is your problem with the left-right matchups wasn't so much that you couldn't handle left-handed pitching. Like your righties handled left-handed pitching really well, and he had a pretty decent amount of them. You had Romy Gonzalez, who was well above average as a right-handed bat. You had Rob Refsnyder, who was obviously well above average as a right-handed bat. You had Tyler O'Neill, who was obviously well above average against lefties. Even Cedar Rafaela did better against lefties than he did righties. Your issue last year and the reason you struggled so much against left-handed pitching was that the big left-handed hitters on your team struggled. It wasn't so much Massa, who, by the way, was bad against left-handed pitching, but Rafi wasn't. He was a league average hitter against lefties. Duran was a league average hitter against lefties. That was your big problem, right? So if you can get a lefty in here who can hit lefties, who cares? Right? That's my point. It's not so much that the Red Sox need to get more balance to be better against lefties. They need their big hitters to get better against lefties. And I think that's just sort of a learning factor. So I don't know if you need to get a right, like the difference between the Red Sox winning and losing the World Series is another right-handed bat. Obviously, I think if you can get a right-handed bat, great. That's going to help you out a lot because you're losing Tyler O'Neill, right? But if you can get, would I take a great right-handed hitter over a great left-handed hitter? I don't know. Do you mean like if the statistics were the same either way? Yeah, I guess I would take the righty. Let me look at Castellanos' splits this year. He was much better against left-handed pitching, but no, I'm not saying you're wrong. Am I related to Zach Tellender? I've never heard. Is that a famous person? They're trying to dump him? Yeah, no. If the trade's there, it's definitely an interesting conversation. How much is left on his contract? So this would be signed through 2026. He's a free agent 27. So 2 years, $20 million a year. Looks a lot like you actually, Corbs. YouTuber, former powerlifter. Okay, well now I need to see this guy. Whenever someone says you look like someone, it's either a really big insult. Zach. Not intentional. I don't know, guys. I don't know about this one. I don't know about that one. Cleared up sooner. Yeah, I guess that's true. I just if you're gonna trade Massa, I just don't love the idea of clogging up that DH. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think you're absolutely right, Sox. What's up, London? I don't think that trading Massa is going to be a clear slam dunk. It's just it's very, very limited in what makes it less clogged. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and I don't hate it, especially with Tyler O'Neill leaving. But if I like Teoscar for me, if you trade, let's say you trade Yoshida for Montgomery, and that kind of opens up the DH spot, and then I don't know whatever with Soto, but let's say Teoscar, right? You sign him. Okay, E. What are we doing? Let's say you sign Teoscar. You can hide Teoscar, I think, fairly well in left field, and that still gives you a little bit more versatility than trading him for a Castellanos. I don't know. All right, I'm down. You hear they changed it? That was a joke, Gabriel. Guys, if you fell for that on Twitter, the Red Sox did not change their logo. Don't bring me into this. I think the Red Sox rotation, the starting line will be totally different on opening day. I don't know totally different. I don't know totally different. I think it'll still be recognizable. Okay, so now we got resemble Dutch. So Dutch makes sense. Both of my grandparents are Dutch, so that makes sense. Sieb, there's no way. Dijay. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't look like this guy, but we do. This is the pull of the century. We have the exact same mustache. We have the exact same mustache. Whoever put that in there, where are you? I lost you. I can't even find the message again. Oh, Jack. Dude, first picture. All right, hold on. Hold on. You guys got to see this. I know this isn't baseball, but now, I don't know if the rest of them looks like me. Maybe a little bit of the eyebrows, but I don't think the rest looks like me. But the mustache. Let's do it. Here's the mustache. Ready? Oops. All right. Here's my mustache. Right. Hold on. I mean, it's the exact same mustache. His a little bit thicker. It's been growing out a little bit longer, but my God, it's the same mustache. It's got the same missing in the middle. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, back to baseball. I mean, that was the exact same. By the way, if you do want to get rid of this mustache faster, we're only $250 away from our donation goal. And that's the link to donate right there. We're raising money for men's mental and physical health around the nation. What are the plans with Cutter? I think for right now it's keep him, but I don't know. When you have Evaldi for free, Evaldi won't be for free. He's going to be like $30 million. I don't know. On its way to looking like Mario. I will take that. Cutter got to go. Cutter doesn't have to go now. Cutter, yeah. So Mark has been kind of putting that in chat. I don't even know if Mark. Oh yeah, Mark's still here. Yeah. So the rumor is it could possibly be Willier and Cutter for Crochet, and I think the Red Sox should do that. I don't know if that's actually a case, but. Tired of seeing his fastball get destroyed? I don't know. Still getting that tat? We will. Romy Gonzalez returning to his utility role. Yeah, I think so. Romy was really, really good. I think people underrate Romy because he's a bench player and they're like, oh, another bench guy, blah, blah, blah. But he was really, really good in terms of the role he had. I mean, he could develop into a Rob Refsnyder type player. I don't know, but I don't know. You know, that's a great point, Mad. What has Tellender's stash done? Not raised money. I just want the Sox to get busy and make moves ahead of the market. The problem is it's going to take two to tango, right? That's the problem. And I think a lot of people are like, they need to be aggressive. They need to go out there and they need to wow people. They need to get him. They need to get him immediately right now. And I just don't think a lot of free agents are sitting there saying, I need to sign as soon as humanly possible. All right, Mark, have a good one, man. Thank you so much for being here for so long. Right? I just don't think that it is. I don't know. I think a lot of guys are sitting there saying, look, I'm going to bid this out. I want to see what the market shapes up. I mean, we haven't even hit winter meetings yet, right? And that's usually a big time for players to start making some moves. All right, Steven, have a good one. Baseball, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. How long do you think it takes for Snell to sign? I think Snell's going to, especially after last year, he's going to want to sign early. I think he's looking for a deal. He gets that. He's going to take it. Does not pitch well against the AL. Do I ever talk to bigger Red Sox Bear writers? Oh, beat writers? Not really. You know, to be honest with you, something that's been, you know what, I'm not going to get into it, but no, a lot of them don't give me the time of day because I'm a YouTuber. I believe by Christmas, even 60% of the big names will be signed. Corb's Nate Eaton to the Sox, John Morrissey. Did John Morrissey block me? I think John Morrissey blocked me. I can't find him anywhere. Oh, never mind. I got him. All right, you guys want to talk about it? Here's the tweet. They should talk. I appreciate that. Makes a lot of sense for the Red Sox to sign Justin Turner. All right, let's look at the tweet together. I mean, it's a minor league deal. I might put him and Sebi Zavala in a video and do them together. I mean, it's not a huge signing by any means. So let's take a look. So here's the official. So we do have some breaking news. Oops. Red Sox source utility man Nate Eaton signed a minor league deal with the Red Sox that includes an invite to MLB camp if selected to a 40-man roster. The MLB side of the contract. So it's a league minimum contract. Let's see what he's about, huh? So he was not good last year. Oh, he didn't play last year at the major league level. Show non-major, please. 2024. I mean, he's pretty solid in AAA. He's only 27, so maybe there's something there. Again, I don't really judge these super hard, and I think we're going to talk about this in tomorrow's video. We're not going to judge this incredibly hard just because, he played some right field. He pitched an inning. Played a lot of outfield, so he looks like he's sort of an outfielder, but he has some third base experience, second base experience, shortstop experience. Kind of looks like that's it. He's a righty. I think this is strictly depth. I would be shocked if this is a guy who makes it over Romy Gonzalez. But that's kind of the area I'm looking if we're being honest. Just sort of these. He's not going to do a whole lot offensively. He's he was pretty solid in 22. Actually, I would take that. I think everyone would take that out of their bench player. No, maybe that's somewhere he can get back. I mean, it was only 28 games in 23. I don't hate this. I don't hate this signing. Again, this isn't, a lot of people are going to have strong opinions. Oh, they're going, yeah, here it is. The Red Sox going full throttle. I knew it would be the first comment. Better than the Yanks for this move. Game changer, right? It's not, right? It's just simply like people are going to overreact to that, and I get it. It's just, I don't know. I don't think this is really like groundbreaking news. Why did we get this guy? Do you like Romy Gonzalez West? Did you like Pablo Reyes? You know what I mean? Sam Kennedy, yeah. So I think we're going to talk about Sam Kennedy tomorrow. Did I use wall plugs? Yeah, I think so. I honestly don't remember how I got those. I have no idea. Robbie Hyde tweet. Okay. I feel like we're getting played. See, this is what I'm talking about with these overreactions. This is a minor league deal, Wes. He's not going to be on the major league team. But he's just simply not going to be on the major league team. And if he does, can we... Oh my God, it's full throttle. Look at these guys. Oh, we're getting screwed. We're getting boned. Blah, 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 blah. Guys, this guy probably won't see the light of day with the Red Sox. This is a backup player. This is a Jamie Westbrook who comes in if 4 other people get hurt. I don't think anyone like... Romy Gonzalez was solid with the Red Sox. Oh, look at that. Year before. Booty. But with the Red Sox, he was good. Like, it's just, this is not going to be a player that plays 162 games, that is scheduled into the lineup every single day. Nate Eaton, the player that you guys are getting frustrated about, will probably be your 4th-string utility player. That's it. We can all breathe for a second. I get so frustrated when everyone's immediately like, oh, it's not a $400 million contract. The Red Sox are screwing us. Screwing us again. Like, just, it's okay to breathe. You think Romy could win a utility Silver Slugger? Yeah, I think maybe. Cancel the season. Yeah, Nate Eaton, that's it. That's it. Season's over. Yeah, I'm going to save the... Genetic, I appreciate you tagging me. I'm going to save the Sam Kennedy stuff until tomorrow, because I think tomorrow we're going to talk about it. All right, Michael. Hey, man. Thanks a lot. for being here. I appreciate you. But I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll definitely use this in the video tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. This means nothing to me, to be honest with you. Like, this is probably going to be a guy we're going to totally forget was signed until he pops up after, Romy Gonzalez pulls a hamstring in June. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of my thought process on this. Dumpster, see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, you're just trying to poke the bear. That's it. Hey, Sock, sorry I missed the. I don't know if you're here anymore, man, but thanks so much for being here. All right, this is a minor league deal, folks. Do we understand what minor league means, right? Do we understand what minor league means? Yeah, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad over the reaction. I just don't think this is worth the full throttle, the dumpster diving, the where I feel like I'm getting played conversation. It's just not. This is a move. If the Red Sox spend $800 million this offseason, they'd still have to sign players like this. It's just simply how the game works. Right? Not every player is going to be a $500 million player. Yeah, I bookmarked his earlier, Genetic. Are the Red Sox leading in any free agent pitchers, or are we just interested? I don't think there's a way to measure that right now. I don't really think there's a way to measure it, to be honest with you, right? Because, I mean, until a guy signs, I think that's... Until a guy signs, I think that's the only way that you're going to know how in or out a team is, right? We have enough of those guys. You simply, Wes, you're picturing a completely different player than what they're actually getting. You're picturing a utility guy who's going to be on the Red Sox full time. This is a dude who's going to sit in AAA. Maybe not even make it to the MLB season. He might get cut before then. Why do you have such an issue with it? Why? You're going to lose players. You lost Bobby Dahlbeck. You lost position players to free agency in AAA. You're going to lose them in the Rule 5 draft. This is just simply replenishing that major league depth, dude. I don't understand why we need to have such a strong opinion on this. We signed Pablo Sandoval. What'd you think? I was pumped. I thought we were about to turn things around. Fed up with the dumpster diving, but here's my problem, Kai. This isn't dumpster diving, right? Dumpster diving would be signing this guy to be your everyday second baseman. It's not what's happening. Right? They're not signing this guy to be your everyday second baseman. They're signing him to sit in AAA in case 4 guys get hurt who can't play second base, right? There's a big difference between that expected role and dumpster diving, which is just simply looking for value to be a everyday player. I don't know how much I trust I talk. I look at him, but I certainly yeah, dude, this isn't a source tweet. I mean, this is why I have an issue with iTalk's source tweets. Red Sox feel financially good and willing to do what it takes to get Juan Soto. Like, yeah, this has been publicized for the last week. You know what I mean? Who would I trade for an ace pitcher? A lot. A lot. They also signed Bradley Zimmer last year. Exact same thing. Complete nothing signing. Bingo. Losing Bobby was a clear sign the Red Sox are going to let the best players walk and replace some of these guys. Right. That's kind of what I'm saying, Genetic. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be new information, but it's the same wording we've heard for the last week on Red Sox and Soto. So I'm not too concerned with it. A broken clock is right twice a day. Well, I mean, if you just we need more Kennedy talk. You hate Kennedy. Why would you want to talk more about Sam Kennedy? Any Phillies on the block? The trade block for the Red Sox? I don't know. I'd be kind of at least moderately interested in Boma. We just had a conversation about Nick Castellanos. How much is inflation driving up the market for elite pitching? I'd like to see some data. I honestly have no idea, Ben. I honestly have absolutely no idea. I mean, inflation's lower this year than it was last year, wasn't it? If everyone knew Pivetta wasn't going to sign, the market for pitching seems inflated. I just think pitching is a rarer commodity. Position players. Yeah, okay, Wes, I understand that, but what other team in Major League Baseball has made major deals? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that agents and teams or agents and players are waiting the market out a little bit, don't you think? Like, don't you think it's weird that no other team has done anything big despite other teams promising the same thing? I mean, logically think about this, right? What major free agent have the Red Sox let slip through their fingers at this point in free agency? If we were traded for Helsley, what would we need to do to get that deal done? I was just looking at that. Miguel Blaze seems like the equivalent in terms of his value on baseball trade values, but I don't know. Angels signing Pivetta, I don't hate that. If Soto gets signed by the Sox, will that be the next Manny Papi deal? I mean, it has to be, right? I guess it comes down to supply and demand. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying, right? Pivetta goes to the Braves. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we're definitely talking about this article by Sam Kennedy. This is getting a lot of Verdugo to the A's. Verdugo's going to sign with some random team. He's going to have a good year and get a ton of money and then disappear. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, Sam Kennedy stuff. The Sam Kennedy stuff should get you excited. And I understand. Yeah, I did see that. Genetic. But, I mean, this is exactly what you want. This is exactly what you've been looking for. Who made the Kennedy article? I'll tell you in a second. Michael Silverman of the Boston Globe. Oh, that wasn't a joke? That was like an actual... That'd be objectively, it'd be kind of funny. Like, we got Richard Fitz for that guy. Dugo A's news. I don't see anything about it. Oh, what MLB teams reportedly wondering about Alex Verdugo? Let's see. I don't see anything about him. Do I see Abreu traded? I kind of do. Yeah, maybe. You know what? He does fit the A's mold. I could see that. I don't think that's actually. I've been thinking about it. I don't think that's bad at all. The Kennedy article is genuinely really exciting. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited about this article, and I think people are gonna tear me apart when I talk about it tomorrow. But sometimes I can't help it. Like this is sort of the cherry on top of all the smoke that we have been seeing. For months. Right? I mean, look at some of these quotes are, even if it takes us over the CBT, said Kennedy, referring to the first threshold, the competitive balance, whatever. Our priority is 90 to 95 win and winning the American League East and winning the division for multiple years. Can the team afford another mega deal? Is that possible? If that's what it takes, yeah, absolutely. We are investing more than we did last year. We intend to invest going forward. There's an extreme urgency internally to be competing for the American League East Championship and to set ourselves up for a deep postseason run in 2025 without question. The goal is to win 90 games to not be worrying about a wild card spot. He confirmed that the Soto meetings went really well. I'm not allowed to talk about the player, but it's going to be that person's decision. Okay. Turned more serious, acknowledging that the Sox have their work cut out to regain the full faith of fans after 3 consecutive seasons without playoff baseball. Look, we have to add, and that's what we're trying to do, but I think we're in a good position to add right now. We need more pitching, frontline rotation guys, and bullpen. We feel good about our positional core. We really do. A high priority is pitching, but everything and anything's on the table for us. Free agency, trade, promotions from the minor leagues. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. At what point does word salad become a meal? Right? We can only say word salad so many times before it starts to become an actual before it starts to become an actual dinner. You know what I mean? In our free agency discussion so far, there has been, I would say, a very strong feeling from agents and players that the Red Sox are going to be a force over the next 5 to 7 years, given the guys who have already emerged at the big league level and the guys coming from the AAA levels and below that level. I mean, he's not going to say that they're not a force, right? Yeah, we're going to talk about this a lot tomorrow. We're going to do a nice long video, but certainly, I think at some point, when does the word salad become a meal? And I think that's going to be sort of my point. It's different when everyone around national baseball media is saying the same things. It wasn't like last year. Yeah, I mean that's sort of what I was saying at the beginning of stream too. I don't know. When's the members only? Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, my friends. Tomorrow night. Wow, that's really impressive. Enough talk. Show me. Look, dude. We're all in the same boat. Yeah, that would be great, right? Show us. Sure. I've said that the entire offseason. It's time to show us. But again, there's only so much smoke before you start to get legitimately cautiously optimistic, and I think that's okay at this point. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to be optimistic about what the Red Sox are doing this offseason. Rusty, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you, my friends. Quits class to chat forum. Video, who's hungry? When does the word salad become a meal? Honestly, like, kind of a good title. Who's a Red Sox prospect? I thought you said podcast. I was about to say pod on Lansdowne. Who's a Red Sox prospect you think fans are sleeping on that could be really good, that isn't getting talked about enough? Ooh, good question. Good question. Let me pull up Sox prospects. I'm not going to look at any of the blurbs. I'm going to do this myself, but I do want to just a quick list of the top 50 that I think someone could be sleeping on. I'm going to go Elmer Rodriguez. 5 gifted subs from Versatility. My God. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Arlen. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hey, Joe. Now you're gonna be there tomorrow. We got Joe. We got Juan. We got Dill. Dill is back. Dill is back like he never left, folks. Gary, Paul, welcome in. We're going to have a good time in the members only tomorrow. Thank you so much, Versatility. Thank you. I think one name to pay attention to, by the way, is Elmer Rodriguez. Elmer Rodriguez, a pitcher. He's really, really solid last year. Doing another quiz tomorrow. Dillcore always gets your subs. Dill was subbed for a while. Or Dill was a member for a while. Someone always gets your subs is not genetic. Jetixon Perez, yeah, that's a good one. Are we doing another quiz tomorrow? No. I had to put the giveaway budget into the Movember. I'm giving away an autograph package at the end of this week, and then once we hit 1,500, we'll be giving away some tickets to some game or a game this year. Conrad Kaysen, yeah. Conrad Kaysen is absolutely, but that to me is sort of like, it's not really underrated. He's been sort of exposed, right, as unbelievably talented. So that's crazy, Corbin. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to celebrate the fact that we were doing so well. So if we get to 1,500, yeah, I'll be giving away some tickets to a game this year, and we'll see how it goes. Because I've been trying to give away the Red Sox. Sorry, I accidentally unmuted. I muted my mic accidentally. We're back. I was gonna say that I've been trying to give away a Red Sox merch package. Yeah, Genetic. I got your DM last night. That was funny. I've been trying to get away a Red Sox merch package for $500 raised. I've emailed like 3 people. No one's emailed back. So if you've donated, check your emails. See if you have an email from me asking for it. By the way, whoever responds first is just going to get it, I think. Because for the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to get somebody. So check your emails. All right, chat. This has been a nice, long, hot stove session, I think. Really appreciate you guys being here. I think we're going to call it here. We've talked about, I think, just about everything we could in terms of YouTube muted you. I think you might have the mute button on, brother. I think you may have turned down your volume, my guy. If your goes straight to your trash. Helpful. Okay. So members, again, we're going to be live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Keep an eye on that. As for everyone else, we will be live next Tuesday because Thanksgiving and people traveling. I want to get it a little bit done earlier in the week. So head out for that. Tomorrow we're talking about the Sam Kennedy news because I do think it's worth talking about. This weekend we'll be going over a couple of trade proposals I got floating in my head. I think it's kind of a dumb one, but I think you guys might like it. Outside of that, folks, thank you all very much for being here. I really appreciate it. You guys, most of you guys stayed on the whole time. That means a lot to me. Those of you guys who just peeked in, that also means a lot to me too. For everyone who gifted subs, donated, Prodigy, Versatility, off the top of my head, Tracy, off the top of my head, thank you all so much. If you haven't considered subscribing already, we do talk Red Sox content basically every single day but Sunday. We do these lives once a week. So consider hitting that subscribe button if you like it. Also, be sure you guys like this video. It helps these videos gain a little bit of traction. It also lets me know you enjoying these things so I can sort of tailor it to you guys' needs. Outside of that, I don't have anything else. I really appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully we get some legitimate big league free agent news. That'd be fantastic. But outside of that, guys, I thank you so much. I love these. So it means a lot to have you here. I should give subs so I'm not the only one in the member stream. They are a much more intimate affair. All right, guys. As always, I'll see you tomorrow. And, of course, in the red seats.